Hello and welcome back to another episode of Project Oarai. Now I just want to start off the episode really quick and just apologize for last week's episode, because I know the cinematics to an episode are, in my opinion, and from the statistics looking on my YouTube panel, are literally the most important part of my episode. It's what you all love to view and spend the most time viewing. And it was kind of annoying that last week they were so laggy and choppy. And I don't know why they were like that, because the video on my end was not like that. So all I can think of is it's maybe a YouTube thing when they've uploaded it on their end or processed it. Now, I tried to upload it 2 or 3 times from my end to their end, and it came out the same every time, which I don't really get, because on my end it's not like that, and I've not really had this problem before. So I'm a little bit baffled by it doing it, and I'm hoping that today's episode doesn't turn out the same, because as you all know, with the amount of detailing and mods and just stuff that we have going on in the game right now, it can be kind of jolty and laggy at times. Now, the way I get around it in the cinematics, like I've told you all in the past, is I record my cinematics at 1/3 of the speed, and then I speed them up in my editor. And I record them at 1/3 of the speed in the game, and then in the editor I speed them up. That way it looks like they've got really high FPS, when realistically, because of the angle and all the graphics turned up to max, it doesn't really have that very good FPS, I'll be honest with you. And that's my way of kind of getting around it. So yeah, I just want to apologize for that. Hopefully we don't have that going forward, because if we do, I'm gonna have to try and look into it and see kind of maybe what's causing it, or I just don't know. I'm hoping I don't have to kind of look into it, because I don't really know a lot about editing and putting stuff together and right settings and stuff like that. I'm kind of just winging it as I'm kind of going, to be quite honest, and hoping for the best. But yeah, I hope we don't have that problem again, and let's actually crack on with the episode, shall we? Now, in today's episode, we're really just going to be detailing and building 1 or 2 things around this highway, because it should have been the beach episode today, but I tried. I really did. I tried my best to do the beach episode, and everything I tried just didn't look right, and it looked out of place, or it just looked silly. So I scrapped it, and I spent like half a day just building the area up and then scrapping it, building the area up, scrapping it. And I was super busy this week anyways, and I figured I'm not gonna have an episode if this carries on. So I figured, why don't I just go somewhere else and just build that for now, and then give me time to come back to it later. So that's what this episode is. We're detailing, like I said, around this highway. We're going to be doing a lot of intersection marking tool and a lot of placing props down and all that type of lovely stuff that we do love to see. And as you saw me doing earlier, you actually saw me doing stuff with networks, and if you know me and networks are really the best of friends. I normally don't tend to show them, because I do a lot of deleting, changing, and it's kind of a bit awkward, I've noticed, when I've tried to do it in the past, where I show me doing the networks, and then, you know, maybe an hour from now, 2 hours from now, while I'm like doing it on my end, I might just delete all them roads that I've done, and it can be quite frustrating sometimes to kind of edit around that. And because this is, I have no experience editing videos and recording stuff. This is like the first time I've ever done anything. Well, I said the first time, doing anything remotely YouTube related and City Skylines related like this on YouTube is the first time I've ever done it when I started way back when. And I'm still kind of winging it to this day and just, yeah, taking one day at a time. So yeah, I'm not a professional by any means. I just wing it, and I really do hope for the best. Now, with that being said, I don't know about you guys, but did anyone see the City Skylines 2 trailer? Because as soon as I saw it, I was so hyped to see the game. Not only that, but to play the game. Because it looks visually so good. It looks like a heavily modded City Skylines YouTuber series, just without the mods. The game visually just looks really great, whereas I'm pretty sure we can all agree that the vanilla game in City Skylines doesn't really look the best, let's be honest. I think it looks awful. But that might just be me. Other people might disagree, which is totally cool. But I just think it looks terrible. And City Skylines 2 looks visually beautifully stunning. And one of the biggest things that I'm most happy about is, let's be honest, some of the buildings in City Skylines 1 are very misshaped. You've got some buildings that are like kind of realistic, and then you've got some that are super tiny, and they just look really weird and don't really mesh well at all, I don't think. And it really looked like in their trailer that they've really gotten the heights in the buildings to look like they're the right sizes and look super realistic. And I'm just really hyped to play the game when eventually I can get my hands on it. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be making videos on it or not, or if that's something that you all are going to be kind of interested in, because I've only really ever made Japanese themed cities. Like I've said in the past, you know what, in fact, let's just have a little bit of story time, shall we? Shall we sit down, grab some snacks, and just have story time for a few minutes? So we're gonna go back a very long way here, like before Sunsets and Harbour, and that's it. After dark, I had to really think about it. I totally didn't pause the recording and went to look it up. You can take my word for this, I didn't do it. After dark, because that's kind of when I started-ish playing. And I say started-ish playing because I got the game before then, and I maybe played it for, or maybe I did get it at around that time altogether. I'm not too sure. It was a long time ago. I'm pretty sure After Dark is like 2015. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 2015. And I got the base game, and I did play vanilla. Didn't play modded at all because I didn't know much about it at the time. And I maybe played it for, I'll be honest, maybe around 4 to 5 hours, if that. And then wasn't really my cup of tea. Never played again for a long time. And I mean like a long time. I was playing PUBG, Apex Legends, I think, and other games. So that's how long I'd stopped playing City Skylines before I'd come back to it. And it wasn't until, for some reason, a City Skylines YouTuber showed up in my recommended on YouTube. And it turned out to be $2.20. And I clicked on it because I like the look of the thumbnail. And, you know, if the thumbnail looks good, you generally click on it regardless. So that's what I did. I clicked on it, had a look. And after watching a bit of his video, it made me want to download it again, because he was playing kind of half modded, half vanilla at the time, so he wasn't fully vanilla, but he wasn't fully modded. He was very much a bit of both worlds. And I just liked his episode and it made me want to play the game again. So I re-downloaded it and I downloaded a few mods that he was kind of using. And I was trying to build some like American themed stuff, and yeah, I'm not really good at like American themed stuff, to be honest. So I kind of built it and played for a little bit and then didn't really play again. But I carried on watching his videos every now and then when they would pop up on my YouTube. And I always found myself after that point of seeing his videos, and then he would show like other stuff, like really detailed areas, even though he was still using a lot of vanilla assets. And I thought it just looked really cool, and it piqued my interest of, hey, I would love to create something like that as well. And that's what I did. I started off playing vanilla and slowly detailing, and I would stop playing again and wouldn't play for a few weeks, maybe months, and then I'd come back to the game again. And every time that I'd go away and then come back, I would just find myself wanting more detail, wanting more realism, and obviously adding more mods. And that was literally my cycle for a couple of years. I would always end up coming back to the game, doing little bits, and then it led us to where we are now, where I was building a lot in the background, and I'd show my friends to see what they think, to see what I could do better and stuff like that. And then one day I just figured, hey, I'd put it on the internet to see if anyone's interested in watching it as well, while I do a lot. Because normally I would build this area. Like if I was building Project Oarai and no one was watching, I would have probably have been finished with it a long time ago, but I would have not built a lot of the stuff that I have built so far, because for one, I know that you're all watching it. And when you know someone's going to watch something, you want it to look as good as possible, and you want it to really make them think, wow, how has he built that? How has he done that? You know? And you know, that's what led me to build a lot of things like the nuclear power plant, the dam, and a lot of the villages and the cable car area and the hot springs and all that stuff. It led me to build them areas that I've never built before, but I built them because I knew you would all be watching them, and I knew it'd be something that you'd probably all be quite interested in. And I was right, because a lot of them videos did very well on the viewings and the statistics. Oh, I didn't even say that correctly. That was really terrible. Anyways, yeah, so if it wasn't for watching $2.20's video all them years ago, I'll be honest, I probably would not be playing City Skylines right now. So I kind of have it to him really for his video that popped up on my recommended, for even making the videos and even enjoying the game to the point that I do, because I love playing this game. I find that, you know, people that have hobbies like some people that love going to the gym, or some people that love playing football or baseball, or they love to collect like cards or train sets or stickers or comics, anything like that really. I find that City Skylines does that for me. Like, I enjoy looking at the workshop for a couple of hours before I start playing, seeing if I can find any hidden gems, and then just booting the game up. And you've got, with the help of mods as well, you've just got so much creativity that you can do. And you know, with how the world's going now, stuff is expensive, and City Skylines is a good outlet because you just buy the game and buy the DLCs that you're interested in, and you're not having to pay a sub fee for if you had to go to a football pitch and maybe rent out the ground and play it with your friends, or if you had to go to a park and, you know, obviously it's free then, but you get the point I'm trying to make here. It's just free to play the game and let your creativity run wild and have fun while you do it. So yeah, anyway, this is going to be the end of my story time now, or I might drag it on past the length of the video. Okay, so back to the episode. We're just going to be putting a few concrete barriers underneath this highway for now, and I'm going to be also placing down some of the dirt decals that are literally some of my favorite decals ever. You'll see that I use them kind of everywhere. And we're going to be detailing a little bit of this area, and then we're just going to stop and we're going to come to it a little bit later on in the episode, because I just wasn't really too sure what I was going to put here, because in my head I was going to do like some foliage and stuff, and then my friend recommended doing something else, and that's what I ended up going with. And I was also excited because we finally got to do some signs, and after searching the workshop for a very, very, very extremely crazy amount of time, I finally found some that I liked the look of, and I didn't really have to change too much of them. And yes, you can laugh at me, I spent an awfully long time trying to find the right green. And bearing in mind, this is ×3 in speed, so it took me a while to find it. I was going a bit crazy. But we do find a green that's almost pretty much identical. So yeah, we do get there in the end, so you can stop laughing now. But yeah, I found some signs, and in fact I found quite a lot of signs that I still have, and I think I'm going to unsubscribe from a few of them because I don't think I'm going to use them. But I found some good ones that I like for this area and are very fitting, and I can just change stuff and write stuff in that I want. Now, okay, the Chinese or Japanese that is written on them is going to be completely different to whatever I write in English, but I've kept it on there for now just for the sake of it kind of looks cool. So yeah, I do apologize. A lot of the writing of it in that language will just be completely different to whatever I write, but it is what it is. Maybe later on I might see about going back and changing some of that stuff, but we'll have to see, because it's a lot of changing and a lot of doing stuff. And just for now I'm changing a lot of the stuff to English, but I might actually see about doing some in both the languages and trying to PO it and do all that type of stuff, because hey, if we're gonna do it, we might as well do it right? So yeah, I'm going to be detailing these signs up for quite a bit, and if you see me do some of the signs and I leave them empty, or one or two of them empty, it is because not only do I want the name of the city, I also want the city to kind of have some districts inside of itself with names, so that way some of these other signs that I've got, like the signs that we're going to be doing in a minute to Nunoshida and Suzuki, we can then have some for the other parts of the city, so it kind of makes a little bit more sense in like what direction you're going and where it's taking you to and all that type of stuff. So until I get them other names sorted, there's going to be an odd sign here, there, and everywhere, kind of just empty with no name written in yet. And I also make up the distances on these signs for how far Nunoshida and Suzuki is away. So if I've gone really crazy, you know why. I just made the numbers up, so yeah. Okay, so we're approaching that part of the episode where I'm basically going to disappear, and I'm going to leave you with the last 10 minutes or so of the episode. And if you've stuck with me while I've been rambling this whole time, then I thank you for that. And I want to thank you all for watching, and like always, I'll see you all in the next one.